The other day, Democratic candidate Beto O'Rourke did an Ask Me Anything on Reddit, and I will say, much respect for him doing this, although it's kind of a wasted effort, and it seems like a lot of his responses are canned, generic, pre-written responses, and it probably wasn't really him doing this, but by doing it in whatever capacity he did, he opened himself up to a lot of scrutiny, and that's what we're going to be looking at. Because Beto O'Rourke got roasted hard on two big issues, on more than two issues, but a couple issues that I really want to highlight. For one, the confiscation of AR-15s and immigration, because people weren't having it. But I got to make a few points before we start off. First, you know why the title of this video says Democrat gets roasted or something to that effect? Because if I put Beto O'Rourke in the title, nobody cares. And I gotta be honest, I don't either. I don't want to talk about this guy. The last video I made about him was talking about how evil he was because he's calling on big tech duopolies to suspend the legal sales of a constitutionally protected product. Beto O'Rourke, for those who don't know, called on credit card companies to suspend transactions related to products that are legally available and protected under 2A. I have to be very careful about the language I use because YouTube will derank me. You get it. Actually, we'll do that now. So look, Beto talked about, what did he say? He wants to confiscate everyone's ARs, and he gets downvoted ridiculous. I know it's kind of hard to see, but he's got minus 8,296 votes. This is significant because Reddit is very left-leaning. The other issue, somebody asked him about immigration, minus 2,149, and there are other worse ones, but these are the ones I want to focus on. Basically, in this instance, Beto gave a canned response and didn't even answer the question, pissing everybody off. So before we get started, head over to timcast.com/donate if you would like to support my work. There's a PayPal option, a crypto option, a physical address. But the best thing you can do, share this video. YouTube, like I mentioned, they're going to derank this video because I'm talking about political issues. Nothing I can do about it. They derank independent political commentary. The best thing you could all do is just share it, because, I mean, videos on this channel average around like 150,000 views. If every single person shared it, it would actually quadruple or double or I mean, a lot of more views. It'd be significant. And that's kind of, that definitely overcomes the obstacle that is YouTube's deranking of my commentary. But I want to stress a few points as well moving forward. We'll read this. But there was a story from CNN recently I may cover later on. It's a video, though. It's not an article, so I'm not going to show you the video. But they go to, I think it was northern Minnesota, a mining town. It's a steel mining or whatever, and it's a Democrat stronghold that's flipped for Trump. These people all vote Democrat locally, but nationally are supporting Trump. And CNN's kind of like, wow, why is this happening? It's because of things like this. Beto O'Rourke is chasing woke Twitter. And I know it's said often, you probably hear me say it a lot. Bill Maher said, stand up to Twitter. These people have lost their minds, okay? Beto has lost his mind. Polls show, you just look at the polls, you've got to trust them, but they all show the same thing. So at a certain point, they show that most Americans, the overwhelming majority, do not want confiscation. The overwhelming majority do not want open borders or lax border policy when we already have some of the laxest immigration policies in the world. Let's start with this. Let's see what happens. So someone asked, how will you confiscate the millions of AR-15s? Beto responded, Americans will comply with the law. It will be a mandatory, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to refresh this just to see what happens. I'm going to refresh this real quick, and it's at minus 11,600, okay? I just refreshed it. I opened it a few hours ago. He says it will be a mandatory buyback of AR and AKs, weapons designed for war. They're not. Because we understand that there's no reason for any of us to own a weapon that is designed to kill people on a battlefield. This is Beto lying to you, okay? The AR, again, I am not a gun person. I just did some cursory Google searches. It's so hard. The AR is a civilian variant. Okay, civilian variant. It is a semi-auto rifle. It is not select fire. It is not an assault rifle. It is not designed for military use, although it's possible that there are some people out there who use it because it is a weapon. There are people out there who use forks as weapons. You get it? He's trying to say weapons designed for war. Okay, dude, like weapons are designed for self-defense, whether that's war or otherwise. We're not talking about someone getting a Scud missile or setting up a SAM site on their house to fire at planes or something. We're talking about somebody getting a gun. But he says, that kind of weapon is so often used to kill and terrorize people throughout the country. Wrong. in their schools, grocery stores. Wrong. And I'm not gonna read his fake statement. But anyway, he gets roasted. Look at this. Minus 11,000 points on left-leaning Reddit. Check this out. The top response, for almost 5,000 upvotes, meaning people support this. He says, America has 4.2 times as many guns as all of Southern, Eastern, Western, and Northern Europe combined, and less than 0.3 are registered. How do you find these newly illegal guns? Who pays for the buyback? The taxpayers? The taxpayers are the gun owners in America. Even if you got them to foot the bill, it would still cost hundreds of billions of dollars. And that's assuming the gun owners would relinquish their weapons without protest. The reality is they will fight tooth and nail, and if force is used, many lives will likely be lost on both sides of the process. So now we've cost the country hundreds of billions of dollars and lost thousands of lives. Doesn't sound like a good alternative. I assure you, if you try to come for a constitutional right, keep in mind, when Beto talks about assault weapons, he likes using these buzz names, like AKs and ARs. Yeah, but what he has actually said, assault weapons, all of them. He tweeted it out. Assault weapons include guns with magazines. That's like handguns, okay? It's very extensive. Now, it depends on which bill gets passed, so these things do change. So fact check me on that one. It's about a year ago. So I looked at the latest bill, and the language has changed. They've added some caveats, probably because nobody would agree with it. But let's read on. They said, banning guns in the UK worked because there were a few 100,000 registered guns in circulation. In Australia, there were estimated to be less than 3 million. This is why ban and buyback programs were expected to work, which they didn't. There are 400 million guns in America. It's just not possible. So if a gun ban is not the solution and is also logistically impossible, what is the solution? The problem is systemic violence that thrives because of poverty, lack of social welfare, lack of mental health resources, and widespread inequality. The solution is acknowledging these problems and addressing them one by one through social policy change. If you take away law-abiding citizens' guns, all you're doing is disarming them against the imminent threat that is posed by those who are currently tangled in the web of violent crime and or mental instability. Address the problem. Don't strip law-abiding citizens' ability to defend themselves. What a remarkably moderate Democratic answer. Social policy change. You see, this is typically where I'm at, right? I think there's a conversation to be had about guns themselves. But look what this person is saying. Poverty, inequality, mental health, social policy change doesn't sound very much like a conservative. Surprise, surprise. There are blue states, a lot of them on the East Coast like Maine and Vermont, for instance, where people are Democrats and own guns. Beto is pandering to the woke of Los Angeles. That's it. So I know this has already gone on a little long on this one issue, but there's tons of this. Almost every response to Beto is slamming him with massive upvotes, and this is Reddit. Reddit. Okay, the Donald is quarantined. Okay, you can't find the Donald on the front page. They say harumph, but you can find other far left subreddits, and the r/politics subreddit posts left-wing activist websites as news. That's Reddit. So when you have something as woke and left as Reddit for their mainstream platform, and people are telling Beto to STFU and they're downvoting him, Beto, that should be a wake-up call, dude. That should be a huge wake-up call. Now check this out. Somebody asked, I'm a liberal but don't fully understand decriminalizing border crossings. If we want a welfare state, I would think that we would want to limit immigration because of the strains that too much would put on the welfare system. If we make immigration too easy, do you think that it would lead to an increase in illegal border crossings? Question 1. Would you crack down on companies that hire illegal immigrants? Question 2. What is the number of immigrants you would allow into the country each year? Those are 3 really great questions. Thank you for those questions. It's questions like that help make America strong. I appreciate you standing up and expressing your opinions. Next question, please. That's how politicians respond. Annoying, isn't it? Well, you want to know what Beto did? Copy and paste. And that's apparently what people are... Check this out. This is great. You're going to love this. So Beto's response has nothing to do with any of the questions asked. We should rewrite our immigration laws so there is a safe, orderly, and quick path to this country, yada, yada, yada. Didn't answer any of these questions. Check this out. I had this minimized. Boom. The same guy responds, Beto, I do have tremendous respect for you as a person and as an individual. I think you are passionate, and I was struck by you during the debate with Ted Cruz and how well you did in your native Texas. But this was a really S response and really didn't hit at the crux of my questions. Yeah, he politicianed his way out of that one, not successfully though. So I'm going to minimize this and says, someone's response to Beto is, this is inane. The U.S. lets in the most immigrants of any country in the world at 1.1 million a year, and we've been at the top for decades. We have over 20% of the entire world's immigrant population, 4 times more than the next country. To say the U.S. needs reform or to make it easier is so out of touch with U.S. immigration. Democrats should really reflect on how incredible our country actually is on the immigration front. Yes, there are bad stories, but we do tremendous good, and you should start realizing it. 324 points. Beto O'Rourke, negative 2,149. Beto O'Rourke is getting slammed hard by left-wing Reddit. What you need to realize, and someone pointed this out in the Reddit, is that when you see the negative votes, you have to realize the bias is towards the left. It's actually worse than you realize. If you corrected for bias, the votes would probably be way worse. This is Beto on r/IAMA. This is one of the default subreddits, and Reddit is left. Go to r/politics and you'll see it. People have joked that r/politics is basically the other, like the inverse of the Donald. It's just a partisan biased platform and has nothing to do with politics other than activist leftism. This is Beto getting roasted hard. Some other people, this is really funny. Basically, look at everybody just railing on this dude, and every comment telling Beto to SDFU does better and better. Check this one out. You've stated publicly that you expect gun owners to comply with your confiscation order. This has got 6,395 upvotes. And it basically goes into great detail about why he's wrong. Saying, as far as I can tell, using actual data rather than just a few people you talk to at a gun show, there's no reason to believe you'll see people comply with your plan. Since it seems clear that you'll need to step up enforcement attempts, what's your next step when nearly nobody complies? You can't fine people because you don't know who to fine, and law enforcement refuses to help. And then going to talk about posse comitatus, yada, yada, yada. Okay, you get the point. I'm going to end this video by saying, well, hold on. Let me just say this. Beto O'Rourke stepped out of his Twitter bubble. He walked into the real world, which still has a bias, and he got slammed. I also think I might have something else to show you. This image is of a woman who responded to Beto O'Rourke saying, hell no. When he says, hell yes, we'll take your guns, she said, hell no, you won't. And I believe you can see she's actually armed. She's armed here, telling him, no way. This woman went on to say that she's 5 feet tall and weighs like 100 pounds, and the only way she can defend herself against like a big guy who's trying to attack her or something is with a firearm. And that is, to an extent, true. Great equalizer. 2 people, no matter how big or small, and they have a firearm, they're rather equal on that battlefield. Now, if she is on her own, she wants to defend herself, and she has the right to do it. That's the point. She told Beto O'Rourke no. So there are people standing up to her, but the point is, Beto's pushing policy people don't agree with. Certainly people in this crowd were cheering for him and agreeing with him. But in the end, when Beto steps out into the real world and talks to real people, they slam him on Reddit, they slam him in real life. His policies are extreme and insane, and even Democrats are ragging on him. The last thing I think I have here is, what is this? Oh yeah, Bill de Blasio's out. I don't care. I'm not going to dedicate a segment to talking about Bill de Blasio dropping out of the presidential race. Bye-bye. I'll wrap it up. Thanks for hanging out. Stick around. Next segment will be at 1 p.m., and I will see you all there. It'll be on this channel.